You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio McGyver, and you are listening to Studio McGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, newcomers. If you're new, welcome to the show. If you enjoy nerd culture, if you enjoy anime, if you enjoy video games, you've come to the right place. We talk about all of that here. Man, today's show, guys, is definitely going to be interesting, okay? Last week's episode was pretty basic, to say the least. I wanted to give you guys a little insight on my weekly routine, things that I do on a weekly basis. Nothing outside the ordinary. But I did state that usually when I have a podcast like that, which typically lasts about around 35 minutes, the next week's podcast ends up being a doozy when it comes to, the time frame of the next podcast. And it's just a lot of shit hit the fan, it fell into my lap. And I cannot wait to talk about all of this, guys. So much stuff has came to the light. And one of the biggest things I'm going to talk a little bit about is the Cyberpunk shit. All right. Yes, I can't wait to talk about this. I am truly hurt by this news, and I'll dive into it. Going to talk a little bit about it, and new release date, and maybe why they decided to push it back, and all of those things. But also we're going to be talking about some Xbox Series S news, or some information out there in those digital streets. Okay, there's been some things going on. Somebody's pulling up hoods, looking behind trash cans, and they found some shit. And if you're thinking about purchasing this device, pump your brakes for 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I'm going to tell you why. And we're going to talk about that. Also, The Mandalorian is back. Season 2 is here. It is among us. I have seen episode 1 of season 2, technically episode 9, if you are counting episodes. And I want to talk about that shit that went down there a little bit. Really excited for the series. One of the best shows on Disney. And one of the best Star Wars shows in a long fucking time, okay? That is not animated. We're going to talk about that. Also, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Nintendo did some slick shit. They did some slick shit, man. We're going to talk about that. Also, Watch Dogs Legion is out. The reviews are in. We're going to, discuss that. And we also have some Nintendo Switch news. Yes, Nintendo Switch had a Nintendo Switch Mini that they dropped on us, and it slipped by me. I can't believe I missed it, but somebody brought that to my attention, and I jumped on that so quick. Gonna talk about that, and 2 games that I am so fucking excited that they actually announced on that little show of theirs. And also Assassin's Creed. We got some Assassin's Creed news, and I'm not talking about Valhalla, guys. I'm talking about some other shit. Okay, we're gonna talk about that, and Demon Souls. We got that on the plate as well. Man, there's just so much shit that I'm going to try to cover on this show, in this episode, guys. It's a lot I'm trying to squeeze into this podcast this week. But hey, you guys deserve it. You know what I mean? I always come hard. You know what I mean? If I have a shorter podcast, usually it's because, sometimes you have those weeks where shit starts to dwindle and there's not really a lot going on. And you know what I mean? And I don't want to kind of just fake it and just make shit up or anything like that. I like to have it kind of naturally and have the show mapped out in that form or fashion for you guys. So it typically, man, the next week, man, it's always some shit that hit the fan. And like I said, it always comes in spades. So much to talk about in this show, guys. Going to get into all of that. Also, Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game. I want to talk a little bit about that. Saw some new video on that. And man, it's just a lot of stuff I'm going to address. All right now. So let's just fucking start. Let's begin the motherfucking show. Let me also say that, man, anime is definitely taking a back seat on this show, on this episode. I did get a chance to watch a few things, and I haven't got a chance to watch a couple other things, but I will definitely leave that for next week's podcast. There's a lot of dope anime out here, guys, that, new anime too. I'm talking about stuff that just recently came out, and I'm going to dive into some of that stuff next week's podcast because, like I said, hadn't had a chance to watch everything, but I can't wait to talk about that either. Anyway, this is going to be a gaming show for this episode. We're going to be talking about all this gaming fucking news, so let's get started. All right, let's start with Spider-Man. Okay, the new Spider-Man game, Miles Morales, is if you guys don't know, coming very soon. It's going to be available on most PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. They announced, not too long ago that it would be available for PlayStation 4. And a lot of people felt a certain type of way about that because they, Sony claimed that at one time that, it's going to be an exclusive to the PS5 only. But then I guess they got wise, or they tried to get smart when you're talking about money, because if you think about it, how many people have a PS4 right now? All right. A gang of people. Okay. How many people are going to have a PS5 when it comes out? Not that many people, because they don't even have enough to give. They don't even have enough to, supply and demand right now. Okay. There's going to be a lot of people, me included, who are not going to get it because we did not get the pre-order in time. Okay. And then a lot of people who actually pre-ordered the game or the system, they're not even going to get it. They're going to get that letter. They're going to get that email telling them, we're sorry. The butter's on the table. Look to your left, and let's begin to spread. That's what's going to happen to a lot of people as well. So I'd rather just, not even have it and not have it in my mind like, oh, I got it. It's pre-ordered, to, find out later that you thought you had one coming, and then you come to find out, no, you did not. All you hear is that top of that tub of butter that coming off, and then it goes from fade to black, and then it's over. So, I'll be patient. The only games that I did want to play, I was interested in the Spider-Man game, but now I have to change that. But let me finish the Spider-Man Morales talk real quick, and I'll get to the rest, the other subject, if you will. But anyway, talking about Spider-Man, there's some video out right now that you guys can check out. I've seen it on YouTube, and it basically has Spider-Man Miles Morales from the movie Into the Multiverse and the skin, basically. And what's so cool about this, which I didn't know, and which I guess they're starting to establish this, or I guess this could be a blueprint going forward, like in the next gen, as far as, games and stuff that they do. They're getting intricate. They're getting, they're adding more layers. And what I mean by that is there's a video out right now of the skin from the movie Into the Multiverse, and it looks just like him in that. Okay. But what's even better is the fact that they have different animations. They have the actual animations of his character from that movie. Okay, so you're not just, running around with the skin. You're running around with a whole new set, like it's a whole new character almost. Okay, even the fucking effects and that took place in the movie. You know what I mean? For the impact blows and shit like that. It's really impressive, man. And I had to talk about that real quick. And it made me just, really kind of, and it showed them flying around the city and everything like that. Different, like I said, completely different animations. I mean, this looks good, man. It really looks good. But I wanted to talk about that real quick to move on to the next thing, which is another release for the PlayStation 5. And it's an exclusive as well. And that's Demon's Souls. And I just have to say this. Demon's Souls looks fucking amazing. Okay. I really, over this past week, sat down and checked out some videos and checked out some stuff on this. And this game is breathtaking. Okay. Bluepoint, they fucking did a phenomenal job. Bluepoint is the company, if you guys don't know, they're the people who, they're one of the companies out here who does remakes. Okay. Facelifts to video games, if you will. They did a fantastic job, a beautiful job on Shadows of the Colossus, one of my all-time favorite games ever. and they are responsible for this game here. And now I'm thinking to myself, fuck, I want to play this shit now. And I'm probably going to end up doing that. Now, am I going to buy it day one? I can't promise you and say that I will, because I probably won't. I'm the type of guy that gets a system, and instead of buying a game, I'll get 2 controllers. So one comes with the system, of course, but I'll get another controller because I'm the guy that I got to have a backup, man. I got to. I don't want to wear out my one controller, like that. I want to have a backup and kind of, you never know. And then, 2-player games sometimes, whatever, depending on what you're playing. You just want to be ready for that. And that's something that I would do and that I am going to do. Now, when the game drops, because it's going to be $70. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's going to be $70. Let me pull that back. It may be at a discounted price because it's a remake. But worst case scenario, it will be, but I'm not going to buy it at that price. I'll wait. If it's like $40 or something like that, then I'm sold. I'll buy that. I will pay $40 for that. Okay. But anything more than that, I will just wait. Okay. Anyway. That is what's going on with that game. If you guys haven't seen footage, man, please check that shit out. Demon Souls looks amazing, man. And, it's really, really making me want to play really bad. All right. Check that out though, when you get some time, if you have not. And, a lot of people aren't fans of the Dark Souls, Demon Souls type of games. They are extremely hard and punishing and taxing. And some people can't handle that shit. But it is definitely worth giving it a look, checking it out. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. I kind of want to talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room, guys, is, it's Cyberpunk 2077. Okay. Now, I'm sure everybody fucking knows by now. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know. All right. That it's been delayed a fucking again. All right. 4 goddamn times. I didn't realize it was that many times it was delayed. Okay. I thought it was like a couple times, but no, this is the 4th time this shit has been delayed. Now, what's funny is it's delayed. This last time it's been delayed, the game has already gone gold, which means, if you guys don't know what that means, it means that the game is done for the most part. That means that the game is ready to be printed, put in a box, put, the artwork, all that shit, and shipped out. It's ready for that. Now, there's a lot of different things that I've heard, as to why they went ahead with this shit again. A lot of the devs, if this is correct, if this information is correct, didn't even fucking know this shit was going to be postponed like that. All right. Now, apparently, you got some people saying that, okay, it's because of the different versions of the game, and they weren't confident in the fact that they would be able to ship all at the same time and get every version of the game out in a timely manner. Okay, because if you think about it, this is coming out for everything, damn near. This shit is coming out for, last gen, next gen. I mean, it's coming out for a lot of shit. All right. The updates is coming out for the next gen. The actual game for the next gen isn't coming out till 2021, but PC, and all of that. So they want this to be right. They want everything to go out, and with the COVID-19 shit, everybody has been pushed to certain limits, and they have been, handicapped in a lot of different ways. And I understand all that. But then on the other hand, you have people also saying that they want to put out a game that they don't want any glitches, anything that major that would, hinder the game score. Now, they've told their investors, okay, that they're aiming for a 90, at least a 90 or higher on Metacritic. That's what their goal is to get from this game. And a lot of people have tested this game. It's tested in Japan, and a lot of people are saying that the game is one of the best experiences and unique experiences that they have ever had. And there's a lot of good things being said about the game. Now, they also stated that they wanted to make sure that all of the fucking glitches, all of the things that come with a lot of these games day one, they didn't want us to have to deal with that. All right. And they'd rather be embarrassed now, okay, than be embarrassed later with a subpar product as far as, from a technical aspect, if you will. I'm one of those guys that, me personally, I do not I can't get with the technical, mishaps on a lot of these games. If there's too many technical things going wrong, it kills the vibe. It really does. Okay. Control is one of those games by Remedy Games. The game is great on the outside of the technical aspects of what they've tried to do. They tried to put a circle in a square hole is what they're trying to do. And they just didn't have everything they needed when the game came out. Even now, like with the latest update, it's still so glitchy. It's still not running as it should on current generation consoles. And that's just my opinion. And from my experience from playing it. So you don't want that same shit, you don't want to have those problems. And with a company like CD Projekt Red, who is known out here in these digital streets, man, for doing, nothing but the best and caring about, the consumer and keep putting them first and all of those things, I had to kind of really catch myself because I was upset, but not to the point to where I was going to condemn these guys because all they wanted to do was put out a pristine product. The date has been pushed to December 10th. Okay, so about 21 days, 21 more days from what everybody figured, it was going to be. And a lot of people took to the streets. Okay, this shit fucked up a lot of people, and I think a lot of people went overboard. I mean, they did. In my opinion, they really did, man. I mean, death threats were being touted out. People were talking about coming for people's families and they know where they live and all of this crazy shit. Come on, man. That's too much. That is too much. You mean to tell me for 21 days that you're ready to go kill somebody over a fucking video game, bro? Really? If you go down for murder, I mean, you'll never play a video game again, most likely. Okay? That's just what it is. So I don't understand the logic of some people, Have I been mad to the point where I would like to do something to somebody, Yeah, I'm sure everyone can attest to that, but not kill somebody or threaten their life over, a game that because it's been pushed back by a few weeks. That's ridiculous. Even if a game that was canceled or whatever, I would not go that fucking far. You can be mad and do all those things, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. But man, when you start threatening people and putting people, telling people what you're going to do to them and their families and all that, that's where I draw the line. Okay, you can talk all the shit you want about me. I really, I don't really give a fuck about that. But the minute you put my family or kids or anything like that in the mix, then it's a whole nother ball game, man. The butter comes out after that, and then there's no turning back. All right, I'm just keeping it real, and that's most people, and that's how most people would feel. These guys, the devs I'm talking about, it's not their decision to do this. I mean, this is just for the best. This is for the best. I mean, this is for us. And if it was other companies, that didn't have this reputation, you could argue that, you could see yourself being more upset, maybe longer or whatever, but we're talking about CD Projekt Red. We're talking about these guys who actually take care of their consumers. They're going to give you, they're going to give us a pristine game. I have complete and 110% faith in what they're going to do with this game. Does it hurt? Oh, it hurts like a motherfucker to wait 21 more days. Should it hurt it just to wait until, the game came out till the 19th? I was going to hurt then. But hey, it is what it is, guys. If it was one bright spot to all of this, for me, it's the fact that I'll at least get to finish Assassin's Creed Valhalla, with, in peace. Because I was going to try to rush it, and I wasn't going to finish that game in 10 days. I don't think I really wasn't, and not be satisfied, with doing everything and the way that I play games. I probably need at least a couple weeks for that. And I didn't want to, rush through that game. But, I'll get to finish it. It'll give me a whole month to get into that game and do everything that I want to do. And then by the time I'm winding down on that, hey, it's time. It's ready. We're ready for Cyberpunk 2077. I hope. Okay. I hope this is the last fucking time. All right. So there's a little story surrounding this new release date that I had to mention real quick. And it had to do with a customer, big, Cyberpunk fan who literally went to Twitter and he asked CD Projekt Red, somebody there, representative or whatever, and they responded back. He asked them, hey, just want to ask you guys, make sure, is it coming out on the 19th? Because, can you, swear on that and make that concrete? Because I'm about to take off this time for work. And, I just want to make sure that this is going to go down at this time and this date so I can make plans. And they, responded like, yes, this is going to be the date. Guess what? When that shit didn't happen, oh my God. Okay. But anyway, they got wind of this and they tracked down the guy and apparently they sent him some stuff. So maybe he got the game early. I don't know. Cause there's copies. There probably is gold. So there's probably copies out there floating around. Okay. There's the chosen few that actually have this game probably. Okay. Now, what I think is going to happen, honestly, is they're really trying to work on this day one patch and they wanted to get a little bit more time for that. Okay. Now, I don't know how big this day one patch is going to be, but I'd be ready to, put a little time aside for that. I'm guessing maybe, 8 to 10 gigs, I'm guessing somewhere around 5 to 10 gigs of, of some patches coming our way when this game drops. All right. Because the game's already gold. What typically happens with game companies and how they do games now in this day and age is they'll put a game out. They say, oh, the game comes out on the 20th. Okay. And it might be a month before the game comes out. What they're doing now, once the game goes gold and they've already wrapped it and they're getting it ready for shipping, they're still working on the game. They are working on, they're running through glitches. They still have, a lot of game testers and things of that nature going through the game, finding new bugs, finding different situations and going back in there and correcting those things and making patches for them. And then when the game actually releases, they will actually have a patch ready to download. And that typically is what your day one patch consists of. Okay. And that's what these guys are doing. I think they're aiming for those extra 3 weeks to just go ahead and comb over it one last time and get everything out. Maybe they found something, at last minute, and they said, okay, well, let's adjust this. And then, because sometimes when you work on a glitch and you fix a glitch, it creates another fucking glitch. You know what I mean? And you got to go figure out why did that happen and solve that. So it's like a dog chasing its tail in some aspects of, how this shit goes down. But I think that they're going to have everything together. I truly, truly believe now that December 10th is going to be the actual date. The only fucked up thing about that now, guys, is, well, technically it's not, but it kind of is. It depends on how you look at it. Is now they don't qualify for Game of the Year nominees this year. I think the cutoff date is November. Okay. Anything after that, anything that comes out, then it is basically going to be the next year's, up for next year. So I think it's safe to say Ghost of Tsushima, man, is probably going to get Game of the Year. It's probably going to get Game of the Year. It may not. The only other game that has a chance to beat that, in my opinion, is The Last of Us 2. And that's it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it might get nominated. I'm not sure. But I think out of those 3 games, we're looking at Ghost of Tsushima and we're looking at The Last of Us. And these are PlayStation exclusives, guys. Not even trying to be funny, but it is what they are. And these are the games we're talking about here. So one of those 2 will be Game of the Year, in my opinion. I'm calling it now. I was going to wait for Cyberpunk 2077, but they're out of this race now. So guess they'll be up next year. But the problem with that is if you're CD Projekt Red, you want to get that award. I think they all want to get an award like that. Then there's a whole nother fucking year, basically, of games coming out, and who knows, there might be something out there, in mist out there that would catch us off guard. God of War could come out in that time frame. God of War is slated for 2021. So if it comes out before December, look out. It's going to be I'm telling you, God of War is going to be, it's going to be there. So that's going to be a tough one, man. It's definitely going to be a tough one. And any other games that's coming out that we might not, even know that's going to hit us, like, it's going to hit us. We're not going to know that. But that's the news on that. And I know people are salty. I'm salty. I feel like a big ass bowl of French fries right now, and I've just been rolled around in fucking salt. Okay. Yeah. I'm speechless on it, and there's nothing else we can do about it but wait till December 10th and hopefully, get the game. I have pre-ordered it. I have pre-ordered the strategy guide with it, and I'm ready to dive in. Trust me, I'm ready to do it. But can't do anything if it's not out yet. So we're just going to wait, and let's just wait, man. That's all we can do. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's move the fuck on. That was stressful. Just talking about Cyberpunk. It's so stressful, man, because people just still believe, and I can't blame them for it, but they still believe, a lot of them still believe that it won't even come out December 10th. Okay. And, they have the right to think that. And there's they're not thinking that for no reason. Okay. So it is what it fucking is. Let's move on. All right. I want to talk a little bit about The Mandalorian. Yes, The Mandalorian season 2 is out, guys. And, if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, I'm going to talk a little bit about this episode and, what was going on. If you're a true fan of the show, you've already seen it by now. But, it's crazy. Great show. Great first episode. And basically what's going on right now, what's trending, what everybody's talking about in the Star Wars universe, in these Star Wars streets, is the ending. The ending, there's a character. And leading up to the ending, there's some armor that was involved. I'm talking about Boba Fett's armor. Okay. His armor was being worn by the Marshal. He calls himself the Marshal. I can't remember his real name, but the name of the episode was called The Marshal. And he was on Tatooine, and he was in some small town, if you will, sand town or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But, he had the armor. He bought it off of somebody, paid a lot of money for it. And, the Mandalorian was looking for it, found it. They made it happen to make a deal. There was a creature, out here that was causing a lot of mischief and mayhem, and they decided to take it out. And if he was able to take it out, if the Mandalorian was able to help him, the Marshal, take it out, then he would give him the armor. And, like true Mandalorian fashion and form, he got out there and he did what he was supposed to fucking do. He got it done, and he, basically got the armor. But at the end, which is crazy, at the end of the fucking episode, literally the last 5 seconds, you fucking see motherfucking what it looks to be one of the clones. Could be Captain Rex. It could be, I don't know. That's the speculation. People are trying to figure out who this is. Okay. Who could it be? And the thing that makes it more interesting is the fact that Lucasfilms, okay, they just retrademarked Boba books. Okay. And they also just trademarked the merch. Okay. Like literally last week or some shit like that, just days ago. Okay. So something's up. Something's in the water. I think we're going to get a new character introduced here, and I can't wait to find out who this is and how they, move forward with this. Just seeing him back in the universe, if this is who this is, or even if it's a clone, I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy that, one of these characters is back, because I love Captain Rex. Okay. And I just, either way, to end Boba Fett, either way, I love the Mandalorians, period. That's my favorite thing about the Star Wars, my favorite creed, if you will. Their tech and just, their lore and all of that. So I can't wait to see where they're going to go with this. And we're talking spin-offs. We're talking about movies, even more movies. Sky's the fucking limit here. Okay. And when you have, Dave, when you have Filoni and those guys writing and producing this shit, you got nothing but fire. These motherfuckers are geniuses. Okay. This is one of the best shows out here in the Star Wars universe. Okay. Period. That's not animated. And that's saying something even in itself, because before this, their best, in my opinion, some of their best stuff was animated. Okay. The Clone Wars stuff. So yeah, we got a long way to go, with the movies and seeing where that's going to go. I hope they drag these guys in there and use them for some of this stuff, because like I said, the Mandalorian is the shit. Okay. But I can't wait to see where this goes now. Every week now we get a chance to find out. We're probably going to get 8 episodes. I'll say this. I said this before. I'll say it again. These 8 episode shows, man, they need to fucking stop. Okay. I need 12, 13 episodes for my shows again. I miss that. Cutting everything short like that. It's a trend, man. A lot of people are trying to do it. It's a fucking trend and I don't like it, but that's just me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of season 2. And yeah, I would like to know how you guys felt about it. You know what I mean? I'm a Star Wars fan, but I am a casual Star Wars fan. I'm not, I'm not some of those diehard guys that know everything there is to know about that. When it comes to anime, I'm kind of like that, but not with Star Wars. I definitely appreciate Star Wars, and I do love it for what it is. And I definitely catch everything about it. I could watch all the movies and the shows and stuff like that. So I'm very, very excited for what they're gonna do next. And man, let's find out. Okay, let's find out together. Anyway, let's move it on down the line. And now I want to talk a little bit about some just some quick news, some Netflix. Let's talk about some Netflix shit. Yeah, Netflix. Believe it or not, they're making so many goddamn moves, man. Every time I turn around, these motherfuckers got new shows coming. I mean, Dave Chappelle is coming back. Their shows, not a new Dave Chappelle show, just his old Dave Chappelle shows going to Netflix, which is dope. But Assassin's Creed, they have a show coming to Netflix. Now, listen, just pump the brakes. It's not coming anytime soon. Okay, 2022 is probably is the soonest that we'll probably see this, but it is confirmed that they're working on a show. I have not seen the movie, okay, because I typically don't go for video games, movies converted over and all that. They don't turn out very well very often, okay? I mean, one of the only ones that I really appreciated that I can remember, honestly, was Silent Hill. And I can't think of any other ones right now off the top of my head that were actually, just, breathtakingly good. Now this is a TV show. They say that the people who actually made the game are going to be involved on this, the producers and stuff like that. So that may be one of the only things that could save it, because, whenever the mistake that most of these people make when they try to do this shit is that they don't include the people who actually had their foot in the actual making of these games. Okay. They give it to somebody, just some director, just somebody who's not even a fan of the series. They're looking at it as just a fucking job, and that's not going to work. You got to have some passion behind this. You got to have Star Wars. Like, that's why I think The Mandalorian does so well, is because everybody involved in that, all those directors were all huge Star Wars fans. Okay. They all had major love for the series. So it's just not going to work if you don't have that love for it. And that's just anything you do. So I hope that, with the producers of the game being involved in this, they're going to make it a great show, but only time will tell. And it's on Netflix. It'll be here. Can't wait. And I'll definitely, when that time comes, you'll definitely be hearing about it from your boy. Okay. And, Netflix, one good thing I will say about Netflix and what I do love about them is when they put a show out, it's ready. Okay. The whole season is ready for you to consume. Good. Have at it. That weekly shit, we're spoiled. I think Netflix is responsible for that, for spoiling that, by putting shit out and it's already ready so you can binge it whenever. I mean, who else is doing that right now? Okay. And it kind of sucks waiting for that next episode, but with so many things to watch, you can kind of dress the wounds a little bit, because you're like, okay, well, I can't watch this for another week, but there's this show and there's that show and there's this show and there's that show. Watch all these. Okay. And then we'll come back around. And by the time you finish those, it'll be time to watch the next one. So, you got to look at it like that as well. So that's what I try to do. You know what I mean? Anyway, that news there for you. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But let's talk about Watch Dogs Legion. Okay. The game is out. Reviews are out. And it's mediocre. It's mediocre. And what I mean by mediocre, I mean like the average score out there right now that I've been looking at is about a 7 out of 10. Okay, that's about the average, what you get out of that. Now, from what I saw about the game, I was actually kind of stoked about the game at one point. But, upon further review, I'm not saying it's a bad game or anything like that, because I think it's a decent game, but it's not for me. And, it's not for me to pay full price for it, put it like that. Now, if it comes available for like $20 or some shit like that, I might pick it up then. But paying full price for this right now is not my thing. One of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way personally is just the graphics. And I'm not really a graphic guy for the most part. If the game is good, that comes first in my eyes. But it's just something about the fact that the characters there's no one character to identify with. Everybody is just kind of numbers in this, because you're playing as a bunch of different people, trying to, do one common goal. And then they just look very generic. And at times it just looked very generic. And that's what a lot of people were saying about the game. And also, if you're thinking about getting this day one, just be ready for some fucking bugs. Now, there are a couple patches I'm sure are on their way, but right now, apparently there's some bugs here. Okay. Quite a few actually. So get ready for that, and good luck. That's one thing I can't deal with. I can't deal with the bugs. I can't deal with all those things. I mean, they gotta solve these problems. We can't have this. Okay. And that's just me. That's just my opinion. Everybody has their own. I know a lot of people who are actually really, really looking forward to this and really, really enjoying themselves, and that's fine. And that's all good, and that's your prerogative. And if you're happy, then I'm happy. It's just, everybody has their own thing. And if it's right for you, more love. If it's not, then hey, move on and find something else. And for me, it's just, that's what it is. So that's how I feel about it. I'm wondering what you guys, are thinking about this game. Are you going to pick it up? If you have picked it up, how are you feeling about it so far? Let me know. Social media, hit me up, inbox me, whatever the fuck. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to know what you think about this game. Is it something I should play? Is it something that, I should just wait for a price drop or a Black Friday sale or whatever, to pick this up? So yeah, looking very, very forward to hearing you guys' opinion on this. All right. Next, I want to talk a little bit about Nintendo. Yes, Nintendo has kind of been absent on the podcast for a little while, a few weeks even. And, Nintendo, just when you count them out, just when you think they're, disappearing, they hit you. They come out of nowhere and they land something. Okay. They had a Nintendo Switch Mini recently. Okay. And they always sneak this shit in. But they did it. And I heard, from different sources that the reason why they're doing this is because they're tired of the criticism in today's society, so to speak, with putting stuff out, everybody finding shit to bitch and moan about, or, make fun of, or make memes on, things of that nature, when it comes to Nintendo and stuff. And, look, I love Nintendo, grew up on Nintendo and have a Nintendo Switch, enjoy my Nintendo Switch and everything. But, nobody's perfect. No company's perfect. Sony's not perfect. Even as much as I love Sony, they are not perfect. No one company is. Okay. Everybody has their flaws. Nintendo's, I've talked about them so many different times, from, not having a party chat to, just a lot of things that they could have done differently, and they can do differently, but they don't for whatever reason. But it is what it is. But they put this one out. And the one thing I just want to talk about a couple of things. There were a few games that they showed, but the ones that resonated with me that I wanted to talk about real quick was, I couldn't believe this. I love the fucking shadow drops when they say, oh, this game here, and it's available right now. Like, I love that when they do that. And those two games I'm talking about is No More Heroes 1 and 2. Okay, because we have No More Heroes 3 coming in 2021. And, can't wait to play that. But now we have No More Heroes, the original No More Heroes on 1 and Part 2 available now, man. And they're very cheap right now. Okay, $17.99. It's 10% off right now, I think, if you do it until the 15th of November. But, when that after the 15th, it's still cheap, pretty cheap, $19.99 for the game, so $20 a piece. Not bad at all for two classic games. Okay, two very classic games, and you already know I'm adding those to the library. Got to love my boy Travis Touchdown. He is the shit, and yeah, I can't wait to see him in 3. And yeah, if you guys didn't know, now you fucking know. And here's the other caveat. Well, not a caveat, but here's the other, I guess you can call it caveat. But I'm talking about Control. Control. The game Control is now streaming on the Nintendo Switch. So if you want to stream Control from your Nintendo Switch, you can do that. Okay. At only $39.99. You can do this. Now, I just find that very laughable. Okay. I find that extremely laughable, guys. And most of us probably do. Okay. Who in their fucking right mind, is going to pay that for Control? When you can get Control, you can actually buy the game for, I think you can go out and buy it for $30 and maybe even $24.99 if you go to the right place. eBay, maybe even cheaper. Okay. Why would you pay $39.99 for it to stream the game? Okay. You don't own the game. You can't play whenever you want to. If something's wrong with the server, you're fucked. If the server's acting up, you're fucked. So many things could go wrong with this. And that's, I've talked about streaming and why, we're not ready for streaming video games just yet. And then we're not even talking about the fucking bandwidth that you're fucking off as you are playing this. Okay. Most of us have caps that we don't know about, and we won't, but this is the type of shit that will expose that cap and say, oh, wait a minute. My internet is just slowed down to a fucking crawl. Why is that? What's going on? Well, you reached your limit. How did I reach my limit? Oh shit. I was streaming Control on my Nintendo's fucking Switch. Yeah, man. That fucking takes up so many fucking megabytes of data. It's ridiculous. And I'm talking about like in 1 hour, you're using a shit ton in 1 hour. Okay. So if you want to sink that ship, you go right ahead and then it's almost like pay us $40 plus tax to fuck up your internet for the month and kill your bandwidth. That's basically what you're doing. You're paying $40 plus tax to kill your bandwidth at your house and fuck off all your shit. Okay. And if you have multiple users in your home, then, it sucks to be them as well. So you're hurting the whole household. It's crazy. Okay. They pulled out some butter on this. Control, Remedy Games, you guys are, I guess you guys have your own butter. I think I talked about this before, that they have been in talks with certain companies, developing their butter, trying to get the right consistency down, the right color. Because their butter, if I'm not mistaken, they wanted their butter to be a little bit darker than your average butter. Okay. So it lubes up a little easier too, from what I hear out here. Lubes up a little bit easier, quick, for a quick takedown real quick. And then you can pull it out, warm it up very quickly, and you can fuck people over, in no time. And if you buy 2 tubs, you get 1 tub and you get a bottle of sake for free. That is, you cannot lose with that deal. So they are really trying to push this shit out to people. And yeah, the butter is real. I will never participate in that. And like I said before, streaming, we're just not ready for it right now. Now, when 5G comes out, that will change the game, I believe, in a lot of different situations. And maybe that's what they're hoping for. And maybe they're just trying to get what they can get now until 5G drops. And it's a normal thing where 5G is everywhere and you might not have this issue anymore, which if it's 5G, then you probably wouldn't have to worry about your bandwidth or whatnot. See, I don't know how they're going to do all this, conduct all these things from a technical aspect, but I know it's going to be a game changer when it happens, but it's going to take time for that. It's easily going to take, a handful of years, 3-4 years before it's set and everybody's kind of rocking with it, maybe even a little bit longer. But right now is not the time for streaming games, Stadia and all these other companies, man, trying to follow suit, trying to get these dummies out here, people who don't know, these extra casual gamers who aren't, are so green. They're trying to get these people, and they're going to catch a lot of people slipping, and it's going to be too late. Okay. You already spent that money. You can't get that $40 back. You do not own the game. Okay. It's not at your disposal. You can't play it whenever you want. That's the thing. When I buy a game, look, I want complete autonomy over my shit. I want to be able to play it when I want to and do what I want. Like right now, after this podcast, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to play some fucking Fight Night Champion on my PS3. All right. I mean, so that's because I have the game, bought the game years ago, still have the game. Guess what? I can play whenever I fucking want. All right. No more. Oh, well, I did pay that. When I paid for it, I paid $40 for it, but I don't own it. Yeah. I can stream it. But if something goes wrong, or if they go belly up, which a lot of these companies, believe me, they're going to go belly up. Okay. They're going to fall on their face and it's going to be over. All right. Because people are not going to be buying this. There's too much competition out here. And when you can buy something solid or you can buy something made of thin air, which one are you going to go to? And, they're not going to win this. Not right now. They're not ready. And they can say, well, fuck it, shut everything down. So everybody who actually did go out and try to support this shit, they're going to get the ones to get fucked. Okay. They're going to lose their money. So if you want to do that, hey, by all means, go ahead. If you have the bandwidth, if you have the connectivity, because a lot of people also have shitty internet. So you also have to take that into account. If your internet is in a bad area, and trust me, I drive around here and there's a lot of areas that are fucked up. And I'm like, ooh, it sucks. It would suck to stay there. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people who are going through that right now. We're just trying to fucking stream Netflix. So you mean to tell me it's not going to go anywhere? Okay. But they're bold. They definitely put their nuts on the table with this one because they're trying to sell it. They truly believe that somebody out there is going to buy it. And, hey, your prerogative if you want to. It won't be me. Okay. One other note on the No More Heroes thing, something I didn't realize that was actually kind of dope because, it was an old game. So I just now come back around and I found out who made the game, who was responsible for making it. And that's Marvelous Games, Marvelous Xseed. If you guys don't know who these guys are responsible for making my favorite game on a Nintendo Switch. And that is Demon X Machina. Okay. These guys go hard. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like watching an old movie and finding out one of your favorite actors did a movie that you never knew about. That's kind of how it felt. I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope. I didn't know Marvelous did this. And it just goes to show you they were dope for a long fucking time before Daemon X Machina. Okay. I just really, really love Marvelous Games now. Like they're becoming one of my favorite game developers now. You know what I mean? I have a handful of them and they're definitely on the list now. So, and they're not, like I said, Daemon X Machina is a niche game in a sense. It's a cult. It's got a cult following. A lot of people don't know about this game, but I fucking love this game. And if you haven't heard of it and you have a Nintendo Switch, definitely check it out. There's a demo out you can play if you're on a cusp about it. I think it's an excellent game. I love that game. I love everything about that game. Okay. Anime graphics, very saturated colors in your face type of stuff. The community is crazy, especially in Japan. And it's just an excellent game. I love everything about it. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm going to talk about the last piece of this discussion. And this discussion is going to be about the Xbox Series S. Okay. And rumors out here in these video game streets, I'm not even going to call them rumors because it's actual fact. Can't think of the goddamn game, but it was a game. It's an online game, if I'm not mistaken. And what drew the attention to this was the fact that they were talking about, they put out a press conference. They put out a statement. Okay. Microsoft did. And this is when you can tell that they're trying to get in front of something. And, they're basically, it just kills me how some companies sometimes they just sneak shit in. They think that you're just not going to miss it. And this shit was caught. You just can't put shit out. There's people out here waiting to catch this shit, waiting to you try to sweep something under the rug or try to, put out a quick little statement and hope nobody really sees it. So then when it comes back, you say, well, we did put out a statement. No, this is what they did. They put out a statement and they were talking about the Xbox Series X version of a particular game. Like I told you guys before, I can't think of the goddamn game. But anyway, they were talking about how the game was going to run on the system. And then they got down to the Xbox Series S and they said that the Xbox Series S, guys, that is not going to run the same way it's going to run on the main system, okay, the Xbox Series X. They said that this game is going to be running at 30 FPS, okay, and it wasn't going to be it wasn't even going to be 1080, okay, not even 1080, and it's going to run 30. So that's Xbox One shit, okay, and I knew something was up because that box is too small, okay, for one. It just doesn't look like it's going to be able to do everything now that all the other systems are going to do. Now, what they stated when it first came out and what everybody was talking about was, oh yeah, this is only $300. It's the budget machine. You can't lose with this one because, yeah, it's digital only. But guess what, guys? The only downside to this one is it only puts out 1080p. It doesn't go 4K, but that's it. So you had me thinking, I'm sure a lot of other people that still probably think this, that don't even know about this, are thinking that they're going to get these games and they're going to get the same production out of it that they're going to get out of their Xbox Series X, except, everything but 4K. And no, they're not. They're going to get that 30 frames per second. No, they're getting a watered down version. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You should have just, I don't know. This is what's going on. This is what's being said. When I think of the game, if I have to readdress this next week, I will. I got to think of the game, but this has got me wondering about other games because that system, it tells you that system is not going to be able to handle everything that the Xbox Series X is going to handle. And then on top of that, that's going to create another fucking problem because that's going to create a production problem. When you're trying to make a game for the Series X, how are you going to do it for the Series S? That's the question. It's not just going to be, oh, well, yes, it does everything else that the X does, but it just doesn't have 4K. No, it doesn't have 4K. It doesn't even have 1080. And you're fucking rocking 30 frames per second. And that's the dilemma that we're going to have here. You're going to be getting a whole bunch of watered down games. Be looking out for that. Now, over time and could they optimize this thing over time as more time goes by and they learn more and more about the hardware? Yes, that could happen. Will there be some games that will be able to take advantage of this? Yes, I'm sure there will, but not every game. And that's the thing that they're trying to sell people on with this system. Every game, you're getting the same thing. The only difference is you're just going to be 1080. Okay, I'm cool with that. Cool. I got 1080p TV. I'm cool. I'll rock that and I'm golden. It don't have to be 4K for me. Just give me everything you got. But now it's like, no, you might as well just buy. If you're going to get the Xbox, you might as well just get the X. Because I don't want to take any chances with none of this stuff. And that's another advantage of waiting a little bit too. Okay, just waiting a little bit. There's going to be glitches, guys. There's going to be day one. Anything comes out day one, there's going to be problems. There's going to be, very bland operating systems when a lot of these come out. There was a lot of things that were added later. I remember for the PS4 that didn't come till later, like as far as capturing footage. At one point, I think there was a limit on behind it. I want to say it was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes was the most you could capture at a time. And now, with updates and things of that nature, now it allows you to do like up to an hour or something like that. So just things like that, will always continue. After updates and things will get better for the most part, but sometimes things will get worse. Okay. Like this last update for the fucking PlayStation 4, which was this party chat bullshit, which is fucking ridiculous. Okay, because now you can't just create a party and invite motherfuckers in, or they just can't come see. I mean, no, they're changing shit up. And that's got a lot to do with moving forward with the PS5 and trying to get the PS5 to communicate with the PS4, because they state that if you're in a party, you can be in a party with a PS5 player and a PS4 player. So they're trying to make all that done, but they're not off to a very good start on that aspect. And like I said, I love Sony. I am a Sony pony and all of that shit, but I will call them fuckers out for shit that they don't do correctly. All right. That's my job, to look at things, And if they fuck up, if it's salty, if it's bad, I got to call it for what it is. All right. And as much as I love them, I will do that. So it's just, it's the nature of the beast, I guess, if you will. But companies they think they're slick. They think they're slick. Okay. And like I said, I'm just waiting to see where this is going to go. But like I said, not all games are going to be able to do that. So get ready. If you are thinking about picking up the Xbox Series S, just remember what I told you. Okay. You're not going to get everything optimized, as the Xbox Series X is going to be optimized. Like, it's just not going to happen. So just get ready for that. It's going to be kind of a flip of the coin, what can, what can't. And I guess they'll go from there. But I'm just going to go ahead and when I do get one, it's just going to be the X. All right. It's not going to be, I'm not even going to play with these guys with this other shit. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a cool thing to have. If you're a casual gamer, and I mean very casual, then I could see somebody buying that. I could definitely see somebody getting this, and for maybe a small child or something like that, for a system, first system, Christmas or something like that. Yeah, I could see that happening. And you're doing that, and then you just download the game, or that with the combination of the Xbox Game Pass. That's a perfect combo right there. I mean, you can't lose with that. So there's ways that, I think that they're thinking and about and how they're trying to put shit together. And what I just said, I can almost guarantee you that they had some of this stuff in their mind. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to go that route because of that. And that's cool too, But if you're like a diehard, gamer and you're looking for that next level shit, then, you're just going to have to pony up that extra couple $100. That's just what it is. Okay. And then, for memory and space, they're charging $200 for fucking extended memory and all that. And see, that's like I said, sometimes it pays to wait a little bit. Okay. As time goes by, more and more companies will come out with things and things will get cheaper, and then competition will be around. And that's just better for everybody because then prices drop. Okay. Whenever you got competition, prices always fucking drop. Okay. When you have alternatives, prices drop. I can get this one. Oh, I'm charging you this. Well, though they're charging $10, $15 cheaper. Well, we got to lower our shit. I mean, that's just what it is. Oh, these guys are doing shit here. Oh, they just bought Bethesda. Oh, okay, shit. Well, Sony's fine. Well, we got to come harder with this. We got to come out with this. We got to buy this company here and that. So it's like, cool. Xbox is finally starting to get that now. And now they're taking shit seriously because they're buying up studios, very important studios. And now they're trying to, get with the program. And that's good, especially if you're Xbox fans. It's good. And if you're thinking about getting both systems or just getting the Xbox, and that's good because now you know that they're not playing any games and they're trying to, pull out stuff that is relevant, and that's better for everybody. Okay. And with that, I'll leave you guys and bid you adieu. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Newcomers, if you're new, welcome to the family. I hope to see you again. We do this every Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. You can catch me out there in these digital streets. You can catch me on social media. Very, very easy to do. You can catch me on Instagram at StudioMguyvR79. You can catch me on Twitter at StudioMaguyver. Also, check out the Facebook page, baby, at StudioMaguyver as well. And YouTube, I'm there as well. That's StudioMaguyver T.V. StudioMaguyver TV. Check me out doing videos there. You can also check out the podcast there. Next year, I'm going to be trying to dibble and dabble in live shows. So I'm going to be streaming the show, trying to see how that fares out. And yeah, man, just a lot of stuff coming out for 2021, man. Big things. I'm going to be streaming a lot of different games, Nintendo Switch stuff, maybe even some PS3 stuff, just a bunch of different stuff. Okay. Bunch of different stuff, Dreamcast, all those things. I want to try to get into some of these things and put some of this stuff on my channel, man. Some of the games that I grew up with, some of the things that I love, get into that world and doing my thing. Okay, so just be looking out for that, guys. And I love you all. I love everybody who's been down since day one. I love you if you just started last week. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this next week, and let's do this the week after, so on and so fucking forth. And I'm going to get my ass up out here, guys. It's been a long, long fucking day. It's your boy. You have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.